I'm Matilda. Welcome to City Classic Cars. Everything you see here are part of our rental fleet.
We're going undercover in Hockley, Texas, just northeast of Houston, at a place called City Classic Cars. They're folks in the business of restoring old automobiles to look brand new. We've set up a meeting to talk about bringing back new life to this car, a 1956 Porsche 356. When fully restored, it sells for $250,000 or more. We're greeted by Matilda Johnson, the wife of the owner.
We build cars. We don't buy everything pre-manufactured.
Okay.
So we create.
We already knew what Matilda looked like because we have one of her mugshots. She's been accused over the years of bank fraud in South Carolina, indicted for felony theft in Georgia. Now she's a classic car expert, the chief experience officer here.
Everything is done in our company. We do not outsource anything.
Classic Cars won't quote you a flat rate for this restoration experience. They charge by the hour.
So our standard rate for labor is $115 per hour plus parts and materials. Or you're looking between 4,000 and 6,000 hours for a full restoration. That's
how much?
690,000, which I knew that answer.
We're initially told we cannot meet the owner without plucking down a $25,000 deposit. And we don't see Classic Cars number 2 person, project manager Carol Sosa. We have 3 of her mugshots. Sosa has convictions for cocaine and prostitution. She was also charged with felony fraud in 2016.
And our builder has been doing this for 30 plus years.
Whoa. Who has
Mr. Johnson.
I have many dreams.
he's been doing cars for 30 years?
Mm-hmm.
My dream was to own one of the baddest shops in the country. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, and a whole bunch of yin'em. That's money spelled backwards.
Meet Sabre Johnson,
I don't think there's a better pastor on this side of heaven.
the man behind City Classic Cars. He's a big fan of spreading the word on social media.
I absolutely love restoring cars. It's my absolute passion.
Business must be pretty good. This is Johnson's $1.7 million ranch up in Magnolia. After a look at court records, we saw the house is involved in a bankruptcy. We don't meet Sabre in person, but he does grace us with a conversation over Zoom.
You know, at our shop, a client is the CEO of their financial process. So you always reserve the right to stop.
For most of his adult life, Sabre Johnson has promoted himself as a pastor, a man of God.
We are called as a church to reach, to pastor, to connect with individuals who don't understand pastoring.
His church, City of Faith, hasn't been in business for years. A check of state records showed the Johnsons have started multiple nonprofits both in Georgia and in Houston over the past 10 years. Sabre says he's a motivational speaker for hire, an author of spiritual guidance books, and a self-proclaimed expert at restoring old cars.
You've been doing this for 30 years?
Yeah, I'm considered one of the best in the entire planet.
But after looking at court records in multiple states, it's fair to ask if Sabre Johnson is little more than a classic con man. At the Tour of Hope Ministry in Grovetown, Georgia, the pastor used social security numbers of people who applied to work for him to get credit cards in their name. He was indicted for wire fraud by a federal grand jury back in 2006. Court records show Sabre and Matilda then fled to Houston to hide from the FBI warrant. Sabre was arrested in Houston in 2008. A judge revoked his bond 4 months later, saying he continued his criminal activities. He was sentenced to 66 months in a Beaumont federal prison. Then, while still on probation, Harris County sheriffs arrested Johnson again, this time on a felony fraud charge. And there's no public records in either Texas or Georgia that show Sabre Johnson working on classic cars until he opened City Classic Cars and Restoration Group 6 years ago.
Hey, Zach, come on, let's push it out. Move out the way, lady.
Here's Johnson practically pushing Chase Tadlock's 1972 Chevy out into oncoming traffic.
Talk to your husband, lady. Get off my property.
Shay says he paid his bill in full, but got little or no work at all.
I said, hey, what do you estimate this truck to be completed at? They said around 50, 60,000. Here I am $61,000 later, and my truck's in parts and pieces.
He left one of the many scathing reviews we found online about City Classic Cars. The owner is a lying con man. The sign in the office says, "Pray without ceasing," which is a great motto if you're a client of this company.
He sabotaged the car.
Shay's got his truck back, but this woman, Betty Smiley, it sure looks like her 1978 Monte Carlo is being held hostage at Classic Cars as we speak. It's a very special automobile, her late husband's dream car.
My husband bought this Monte Carlo fresh off the showroom floor. He fell in love with it, and he always cherished that car.
A favorite picture, the three of them together.
It was just a nice day outside. Wanted to take a picture of it, with both of us on the car.
The 1978 Monte Carlo was going to be a gift to his daughter once it was restored, but Dad passed away suddenly and never got the chance to fix it up.
There was always in my heart to do what he wanted to do, his request.
So Betty got the transmission rebuilt, then the mechanic recommended City Classic Cars.
You need a little bit more information? You call me.
Sabre got the Monte Carlo in May of 2022, 16 months ago. Betty was told the restoration would cost about $60,000, $10,000 down. They were told they would be updated in part through Facebook posts. Trouble started with confusing requests for money, not sent to Betty, but to her daughter, Roisha.
It was like, we want 20,000, no, we want 10,000, 20,000, 24,000, and this is all within a few weeks of each other.
December last year, Matilda texts Betty that her car had been primed with several pictures of the work so far. 8 days later comes an invoice for another 24 grand. Betty pays the invoice days later, but then communications stops for 6 months. Then listen to the man of God on the phone this September when the Smileys finally told him to stop working and return their car.
We are looking from you for an update on the vehicle.
You think I am a mechanic? I am not some mechanic. I have 100 projects at any given moment in time. I'm one of the largest restoration shops in the whole damn world.
But that's don't. But wait a minute, hold on. You got a curse and your wife said she was a pastor.
So I'm a multi-millionaire, and you're gonna respect my business.
Yeah, you're gonna respect my business.
Can you stop screaming? Can you please stop screaming at me, Pastor?
A woman looking to honor her late husband by restoring his beloved car doesn't think any work is being done.
Betty then goes to Channel 2 for help. She couldn't believe the shape of the car she saw on TV. The engine was missing.
He sabotaged the car. If you look at the pictures that we took pictures in December, and look at the car when Channel 2 went out and to do the interview, you can see a difference, a big difference.
I was there for 5 months, I think, when I finally started realizing something was really, really suspicious.
Douglas Hamrick used to work at City Classic Cars, but as a guy with restoration experience, he didn't stay.
Do they know what they're doing?
Not at all. Everything is done, the processes aren't done right. Example, like they would have me primer and paint over rust.
Douglas accuses Sabre's company of using a strategy they call nailing the casket. When customers start to question what's going on, they tear the car apart.
I say I've seen it at least 5 times there. When they start calling and saying, hey, well, how's my car coming? They'll get it and have a bunch of guys jump on it and break it all down and take the engine out and pull the chassis off of it and get all the doors, and it's a nail in the casket. It's stuck there till it gets done.
When I got the car back from City Classics, it was leaking every fluid that it can leak.
Jack Montes says he wasted thousands of dollars trying to get his 1964 Chevy Impala's engine rebuilt. He dropped the car off in February of 2022 after working with project manager Carol Sosa.
She said, from experience, it's going to be around $7,000, and it's going to take about 2 months.
He got the estimate in writing, put $5,500 down, but then communications stopped for 8 months.
And they never even sent me a picture that the motor was out of the car. When I asked to go see it, they wouldn't let me on the property.
When it was time to pick up the car, instead of owing just $2,000, they claimed he owed $7,000 more. The price had jumped to $12,000.
There wasn't one single text or email or phone call saying this price is moving up because of this.
Jack paid just to get his car back, but he left a 1-star review on the Better Business Bureau website. So we went to City Classic Cars to confront Sabre Johnson. You said he wasn't here. He is here.
Okay, how can I help you?
We knew Sabre was inside. Our investigator had watched him drive in just moments before.
Well, I want to talk to you, first of all, about why you're holding the Smiley car hostage.
What's your next question?
With your criminal history, why would anyone trust a car to you?
I'm one of the biggest builders in the country. That's why. I'm one of the best. What's your next question?
Sabre Johnson has been sued at least 4 times for screwing up people's cars or overcharging them, including a suit over a 1967 Camaro. The estimate was to be about $75,000 start to finish. The bill, $236,000 for an unfinished car.
Man, if his money ain't long enough, don't come to me. Only the elite come.
And that's why these customers say when you go to City Classic Cars, you're really heading into a City Classic con.
I mean, you're going to get scammed with going to City Classics.
Chase never got the seat of his truck back when he was pushed to the curb that day, and the Smileys say Sabre has now threatened to put a lien on Betty's car. To this day, he refuses to give back the Monte Carlo, and he won't give her an updated invoice either.
As of today, we're in the process of what amounts to a confidential settlement agreement that includes no money being owed.
They wanted my mother to sign a gag order to not speak to media about any of this, which she declined.
We're not interested in interviewing with you.
I'm just trying to give you.
We can share with you.
Okay, I'm just trying to give you a chance so that when we do our
I gotta go out there, sit high and look low, brother. I don't need a chance to do anything.
You've got a Glock sitting high and looking low? Threats, Mr. Johnson, they don't work with us. Besides, you're a convicted felon. You shouldn't even have a gun.
I mean, I feel betrayed. I feel honestly sick to my stomach.
Are they just scamming customers to make money?
That's what I wholeheartedly think it is.
Deceptive. That's the word that comes to mind. They're very deceptive.
How about criminal?
Absolutely.